Hey guys, it's Jay. Wow, it's been a long couple of weeks, and I apologize you hadn't heard from Greg and I. I of course been on vacation. I wanted to get this video out before the cruise, but ran out of time. Greg has been tied up with a lot of work and home life things, so we'll get back to our regular schedule soon. But I just wanted to give a quick update about what's going on with the arcade restoration. So as you can see in this video that I'm playing, I'm actually recording at my recording setup. This is not the audio from the garage. You'll hear it's not as good as this microphone, but it sounds pretty decent. But as you can see from the video, I'm pretty far along with the teardown and everything, and that the reason why is because I lost all of the video from that initial startup and the initial walkthrough that I did of the machine. That was going to be a totally separate video, but we plugged it in, we did a boot up, and we talked about some of the issues that we encountered. Well, all of those videos got deleted somehow, with the exception of a couple of videos, and I'll show you here in a second. So what was happening was every time the machine would start up, it would be stuck in some kind of reboot cycle where the game would just reset itself and it would add a coin. So as if someone was putting quarters into the machine, the coin counter would go up and up and up, but the game would never start. It would just reboot, and the screen had a lot of distortion and stuff on it. Well, the only videos I have of that are these two videos that I'm going to post here before the video. But when the video starts, we're going to jump right into me doing an overview of what exactly the repairs that need to be done and things like that, and we'll just move forward. I'll just make an effort to try to safeguard all of those videos and things I record, but for now, just enjoy the rest of the video, and we'll go from here. So it's definitely rebooted. So, well, what I'm going to do, let's break this thing down a little bit, get this control panel off so we can see more of the screen. Also try to make some adjustments to the screen to see if we can't get it to at least see what's going on, if there's any error codes or things like that. Alright guys, I'm back in the garage. It's been a couple of days later. I've been busy the last few days dealing with several things with family and stuff, but just wanted to jump back in here and show you where I left off. As you can see, I have the machine pretty much stripped down, except for a few more odds and ends I have to remove. This speaker, the grill underneath, as well as take it out and clean it. There's still a lot of crud, a lot of junk around the edges. You can see some dust, some matchsticks down at the bottom, and plenty of dust and dirt. Just dust in general. I have to wipe it down. Look at the state that this one's in, the marquee cabinet at the top. So a little cleaning and stuff I have to do. As far as the electronics goes, and again, excuse my mess, I am in the garage. This is my garage. You see all of my tools and stuff laying around. It's a working garage, but you have to forgive me for that. I did get the transformer, the power supply, and all of that out and got it clean. As you can see now, it looks fairly clean, right? It's not going to be perfect. The thing is still over 40 years old, but got that out, got it clean. Nothing was really damaged. I pulled out all of the fuses for it because these fuses, the fuses that were in these blocks, didn't appear that they were the right size fuses for this particular game. I have the actual fuses that need to go in. I just have to put them back in as they belong. But the fuses that were in appeared to all be the same size fuse, the same type fuse, and I just didn't feel that they were right. They weren't labeled either. I did have to order a power cable for this because, as you can see, this one on the ground, it came with the ground prong broken off. And a lot of times operators would do that to be able to plug the game into a socket or an outlet that didn't have a grounding port on it or whatever. So if a cable has a grounding plug on it, a grounding prong on it, don't break that off. The unit itself needs to be grounded. So Just don't feel comfortable with that, even though you see me do my power on test and try it out. Uh, as a working arcade, I want to have it grounded. I'll feel more comfortable while it's grounded. So I have one of those ordered and I have it on the way. The PCB board, I hadn't really done much to it. I hadn't even gone through a cleaning yet, because what I would like to do is pull out some of these ROM chips and just some of the chips in general, make sure they're seated properly, give some of them a light sanding on some of the pins just to make sure that they're making good contacts and things like that. So pull it out, hadn't cleaned it, hadn't did anything other than just set it here, but I plan on getting to that. Little odds and end parts like the bezels, that the bars that hold in the marquee, those are going to get sanded down and painted whenever I get to that painting process. The same with the coin door. I'm going to break that down, give it a really good cleaning, sand the front down, give it a good painting, probably order some replacement 25-cent stickers and things like that to replace those. But my biggest challenge, I think, is going to be this monitor. As you can see, it has some really good screen burn in it, right? So it almost looks like there's a game on the screen and the screen is just turned down dim. That's how bad the screen burn is. I know the tinted cover and stuff helps a lot of that, and actually when the screen was on, it did hide a lot of that. So if I have to keep this screen and do some repairs to it, buy a cap kit for it and all of that, I plan on doing it. The reason why I hadn't ordered anything for this screen yet was because I believe I found a local dealer or reseller or whatever you want to call them here locally in Houston, and I believe I'll be able to replace this monitor fully with an original monitor that belongs in these midway cabinets like that. But I'm still reaching out to the guy. I'm waiting for a response. Of course, pricing and stuff like that I still have to work on. If push comes to shove, again, I can just buy a cap kit, and because we see the monitor power on, so it does power on. It's not completely dead. I did take it out. I did do some cleaning on it, so if it looks cleaner than usual, no, you're not mistaken. I did pull it out and I did do some cleaning. So that's where I am now. That's going to be the biggest challenge, I believe, is going to be this monitor. I don't think anything else is really going to pose that much of a huge obstacle for me, except for the cabinet itself. So let's talk about this cabinet. Looking at the cabinet, I follow a few YouTubers. There are several guys that I follow. Moonbeam Arcade, John's Arcade. A lot of these guys that do these repairs as hobbies, right, or projects for their home arcades or even for their businesses. And I've seen some arcade pickups in horrible shape. Worse shape than this one, right? Worse shape than my machine. So when I say that I'm having some challenges, I don't necessarily mean the actual body of the arcade, because looking at this one, it's actually in really good shape. It has some dents, it has some patina, some character, as they say on this. But again, I'm want to go for that brand new, restored, almost, museum kind of piece restoration is what I'm shooting for here. So my problem is coming in with this the side arc. Now, like I said originally, I want to try to keep everything original. I want to keep everything as if it just got dropped off from a Midway truck in 1980. So I want to try to preserve this side arc on here. The problem is, so I wanted to preserve it, but I was going to do some light sanding, heavy sanding on where I have the Bondo, right? I have to fill in some of these big gashes and stuff like this. Some of the big dents. If you can see on the other side of the cabinet, there's some big gashes and stuff in the side art. There's a little warping here on the board. So heavy sanding on the yellow parts, right? The parts that really need heavy sanding. But as far as the side art, I wanted to do some light sanding and kind of cheap. I wanted to try to preserve as much of the side art as I can and get one of my artist buddies to come in. One of the local artists here in Houston. He's a small business entrepreneur. He does art and stuff, and get him to come in and just paint over the parts that are damaged, right? Sand it down completely and just have him touch up, right? He has a steady hand to be able to fill in all of these little parts, match the colors up perfectly. And I figured that would be enough to get away with it. But if you can tell right here, it's areas like this that is so damaged, I just don't know if a touch-up would help, right? That looks like that's going to have to be completely sanded off to get the surface prepped enough to be able to paint on anyway. So those parts may not make it. So I'm still torn. That will most likely be the last step of the project anyway, right? The yellow, filling in the Bondo and the cracks and stuff like that, patching holes and stuff. That's all. This kick plate is in horrible shape. You know, all that stuff is going to be the easy part. The hard part for me, I think, is going to be deciding what to do with the art. I've seen in plenty of places online where you can buy, what do they call that? Those vinyl stickers, right? It's just basically a big vinyl sticker. You paint the cabinet yellow, stick that sticker on, and call it a day. I really don't want that. I also saw a stencil. I can't remember the YouTube channel. I'll shout him out when I get the name of it. But he actually purchased a stencil, and it was just 3 steps, right, for the 3 colors: the black, the blue, and the red. Of course, the cabinet was already painted yellow, and you know, you start off with the red, right? So you just stencil on the eyes and you spray paint that, and then you put on the blue and you do everything that's blue. And then, of course, the black is the final color, and it basically makes this side art that you see here. Really cool. It didn't seem very complicated, but I'm unable to find one at a reasonable price. I mean, it is like outrageously priced. Like I see one on eBay for like $500. And again, if I was in a restoration business, or I was doing this to refurb them and sell them or do something like that, then that stencil would be fine. I believe we have a solution, but $500 for that is just out of the question for me. So if you guys have any tips or any leads on a stencil like that within a reasonable price, please leave that in the comments. Let us know, shoot us a message or something like that. But yeah, this is where I am now. So tomorrow I plan on waking up. I have a few errands and stuff to run. Probably not going to do anything with the monitor or the PCB board. I think my next step tomorrow is going to be to take this thing outside, spray this dust off, and just give it a good cleaning. Give it a really good cleaning just to see what exactly, how much work will I have to do to replace or to fill in some of these holes and stuff like that, right? We take this dirt off first. It has to be cleaned anyway. The surface has to be prepped for paint. So just give it a good cleaning. I'm looking at this top shelf here. It's kind of warped. It's kind of bent. I don't know. Well, yeah, it's kind of wobbly. So anyway, I'm going to take this speaker out here in a minute, and I'll record that. I know I don't record a lot of things, but I'll at least get that on camera. But yeah, I'm going to take it out tomorrow. Clean it up. There's a few more connectors and stuff I have to pull out of here. But yeah, just blow all of this junk out. Give this inside a good cleaning. Get those cobwebs and stuff out. Give it a good cleaning. Oh, also too, I know I have to replace this board here. Someone knocked a pretty big hole in it. And also, I don't think this is the original. They didn't use particle board like this. And this little section here. So probably gonna be cutting that and cutting a new piece and replacing that piece. But yeah, yep. So that's the next step here. So let's get into it.